Fannie Mae. There has been controversy and quote-unquote scandals since the year 2000. Fannie Mae's chief executives, James Johnson, Franklin Raines, Daniel Mudd, and Herbert Allison. People, in my book, the word scandal is the government's cover-up word for fraud. Freddie Mac. In 2003, the company misstated earnings by measly $5 billion. It was fined $125 million, called peanuts by Forbes magazine. Government records show the company manipulated its books to meet financial projections, but it promised to do better, so everything was okay. In 2006, the company was fined $3.8 million by the Federal Election Commission for illegal campaign contributions, much of it going to the House Financial Services Committee and its chairman, Mike Oxley, who sponsored the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 to provide oversight of public companies to prevent fraud. I think I'm getting sick. And did you know that it's a matter of public record who Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are giving money to? It's in a website called opensecrets.org. And looking at the list of bribes that are published there to over 350 of our politicians, I know why John McCain has been looking so upset lately. Looking at that list, you can see that Mr. McCain only got a measly $21,000 from Fannie and Freddie, while the top of the bribe list shows that Christopher Dodd, chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, got $116,000, and McCain's direct opponent, Mr. Obama, got even more, $120,000. Now, if you think like a government bureaucrat, that's just not fair. If you think like these politicians, they should all get the same amount. If you think like they do, poor Mr. Bernie Sanders, who's on the bottom of the list, getting a measly $350, he should really be upset because he only got, $250. If you think like they do, the Justice Department should force Fannie and Freddie to give them all the same amount of money, all 350 of them. They should all get $120,000 like Mr. Obama, and then raise our taxes to pay for it. And then they would all have happy faces. I wonder why Mr. Obama got more money than poor Bernie Sanders anyway. And where I live, people that walk around asking for money, they're called bums. And if the cops catch a bum asking for money, they arrest him and take him to jail because it's against the law to ask for money. But isn't that what these politicians do? They walk around asking for money. Why don't the police arrest all of these bums when they ask for money? And you know that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac executives that were terminated as a result of the takeover of both of these failed companies by the government were awarded severance packages totaling $24 million? Enjoy your package, Mr. Ciron. Standard & Poor's and Moody's, they're the ones that rated all this junk that was being sold. Standard & Poor's, headed by Devin Sharma. I gotta give Mr. Sharma. There's your happy face. Moody's Corporation, handled by their CEO, Raymond McDaniel. I gotta give Raymond a happy face too. Oh, I'll give him another happy face. There you go. His code of professional conduct was created to protect the integrity of the rating process, to ensure that investors are treated fairly, and to safeguard information. Another joke. The deck is full of jokers. I think these guys know what they can do with their happy faces. Enjoy your happy faces. All banks and financial institutions that sold their mortgages, surely they knew what they were doing. They're too numerous to list. All of the securities companies that sold the mortgage-backed securities, surely they knew what they were. The names are once again too numerous to list. And then there's the House and Senate committees that had oversight responsibilities. The House Financial Services Committee, Barney Frank, Mike Oxley, Sue Kelly. It should be noted that Mr. Frank, who is openly gay, admitted to having his lover and partner, Herb Moses, as an assistant director at Fannie Mae. If I worked with a conflict of interest like this in my profession, I think I would lose my license to practice. Then you have the Senate Banking Committee, Christopher Dodd, Richard Shelby, Paul Sarbanes, Phil Graham, and Alphonse D'Amato. You guys better run for cover. And last but not least, the Senate Finance Committee, Max Baucus, Chuck Grassley, and William V. Roth Jr. I suggest you guys duck. These are the people that are responsible, along with hundreds or thousands more. I believe their actions should be investigated, and if they are found to be culpable, they should be punished. They created this mess. They should pay for it. But can we trust our Justice Department? Now, why did this happen? First and foremost, it happened because the government meddled in a business they knew nothing about to implement racial quotas. Second, it happened because our government is corrupt and rotten to the very core. Fannie and Freddie have given hundreds of millions of dollars to our politicians, their campaigns, and lobbyists to protect them, and to get our politicians to look the other way. Third, it happened because nobody had the intestinal fortitude to stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, this is wrong, and I'm not going to do it. Well, I'm standing up. I'm saying this was wrong, and I'm going to do something about it. Finally, I need some time to figure out exactly what I can do and what we all can do to bring the people responsible for this to justice and to stop this corruption once and for all. So I'll be back again. This isn't rocket science, just common sense.